I can't tell though, it might just be a blanket. But it's the only cell that's locked. Is he gonna shoot it?
Oh, it moved. Is there someone there? I thought I saw it move. Is someone there? You're okay. You're okay.
Hello?
You're okay.
بدي اشرب مي.
مي. Okay, it's water. It's water.
It's water. It's water. Good morning, Owasso. This is the Twins with Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop. Oh, sorry about that, folks. Having a little issue with the lag. We got a little bit of a lag today when it comes to these YouTube streams. But anyway, this is the Morning Loop, and yeah, CNN caught faking a hostage release rescue type situation. Clarissa Ward put this out there on and reported it to the world, and she is now reaping the benefits of lying. But of course, CNN is running their cover for her. I mean, that was so fake. It was obviously fake. If that guy hadn't had food or drink in 5 days, his eyes would have been sunken in. He wouldn't be able to look at the sun. There's a million things wrong with what you just saw. But of course, they don't care. You're stupid. You're just a layman. Whatever CNN puts on the TV, you're going to listen to and believe. But I mean, to anybody with eyes, you'd be like, there's something really weird here. His clothes aren't ragged. And again, somebody also mentioned, we got to see the majority of that room. Like, if that guy was in there, there would be some wet spots in that prison cell, if you know what I mean. There'd be some tight coils of excrement there in that room. It would not smell pleasant,
Yeah.
So
he definitely was not that. And it turns out that he was a torturer for the Assad regime.
He was the Assad regime torture specialist. His job was to torture and get information out of people. So there you go. Again, she freed a torturer. Good job, CNN. You did it. And again, what? Obviously, those were rebels. I mean, do they not? But again, this goes to show you the chaos of overthrowing a government. Or it's like, and they probably don't even care who he was. It's like he was torturing your fellow countrymen, the rebels.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, but they let him out, were giving him water, treating him like a good dude, and that was clearly staged. They probably like, hey, go lay in there, and we can sell this to the world that this new free Syrian regime is going to be awesome. It's like, nah, it's just going to be the next ISIS, the next, Islamic Brotherhood, whatever it's going to be.
Yeah, but I mean, it also brings up the fact that it's like, you run into a fence in the middle of nowhere. You're like, someone goes, we should take down this fence. And then, a liberal goes, let's take down this fence. And a conservative's like, no, we don't know why that fence is there. What if that fence is keeping something in or out? We don't know what it's there for. And that's exactly what this situation has led to was, oh, look, we're going to go film ourselves doing this good deed. Well, it turns out that you just released a murderer, basically. And, he's a torturer for the Assad regime. Way to go. You did it.
Yeah, it's like that. Remember that video of that little girl we showed? She goes, oh, I'm so happy my country's finally free. It's like, so when you going back? It's like, hey, the people who are here, the Syrian refugees that are here now, they're not going back. What are they going back? Again, what are they planning on going back to? They don't even know what their country's going to look like in the next 6 months. And do you think their country's going to be like, yeah, it's kind of chaotic here right now, but yeah, just everybody come home. Come back to your old houses or whatever they were. It's like, no, they're probably going to have, people who are, sucking up to the power teat are going to get a lot of benefits and perks, and people who aren't. They're going to go out and like, here's what's going to happen. A lot of people are going to die in the next 24 hours or the next, couple months because it's going to be like, where are these Assad loyalists? We need to make sure that they hang,
But as you can see, this so you know that we're not crazy. This is from New York Post. Prisoner CNN helped freed was a Syrian prisoner, was actually a notorious Assad regime torturer. And the prisoner CNN helped free the facility in Syria was actually a notorious member of Bashar al-Assad's forces known to torture those who refused to pay him off, according to the shocking local fact check. The network went viral last week with the footage of the startled prisoner being led from the prison by journalist Clarissa Ward, who called it one of the most extraordinary moments I have witnessed in 20 years of reporting, which tells you that she hasn't been reporting that interesting of topics if this is the most fascinating thing that she's ever seen.
And what's even more amazing about this whole thing is this is obviously staged. It's obviously set up. It's obviously like it was a lie whenever the guy shot the door open. Like he made us turn off our cameras while he shot the door open. It's like, why? But it's like, number two, it's like, no, you don't shoot locks off doors. That's not how you go and breach. You put charges on doors. So they didn't. They were just like, don't worry, we actually have the key. And it's just so dumb. But again, they don't care about lying to you. And the first thing I told Chad, who said, Chad, do me a favor. See if this girl's still hired by CNN. See if she's still on payroll. She is.
Right now, she is. It says she is their primary correspondent, foreign correspondent right now. So
I mean, this is an integrity violation. This makes CNN look bad. But, CNN doesn't care. They're just trying to generate media attention because they're dying. I mean, like I said, this is the last desperate clause of grasping on. They're drowning and they're pulling everybody down with them. They're pulling whatever they can get, and they'll lie, cheat, and steal to stay relevant. They don't care. A lot of people are going to get the axe here pretty soon, and this Clarissa Ward's one of them. And she's trying to make her, because seriously, this is what happens whenever women don't have families. She's like an OnlyFans girl, but worse, because she's lying to the public. It's at least OnlyFans girl's like, yeah, I'm selling you images of my nude body. So this girl, she feels like her entire life she hasn't made a difference, and now she's willing to do whatever it takes to be remembered for something. This is why it's so sad. It's like, just go. You should have done the right things. You're a 44-year-old woman, Clarissa, and you could have had a family. You could have been living the mom life and doing the amazing things that come with being a mom. But no, instead you're out there spreading fake news and lies so you can cling to relevancy.
Yeah, freeing a person who would probably assault you the first chance he got if there weren't other people with guns around.
What are you talking about? He got to kiss her multiple times on camera. Like, he got what he wanted.
Yeah, but here's the rest of it right here. But independent, unbiased fact checkers via Psy published a detailed report Sunday. Seemingly innocent prisoner was actually Salama Mohammed Salama, a first lieutenant in the Syrian Air Force intelligence with a long history of alleged war crimes. We have subsequently been investigating his background and are aware that he may have given false identity. CNN acknowledged to the Post. We are continuing our reporting into this wider story.
God. But yeah, again, CNN, they have no trouble lying. They've been lying to us for years. Or, again, maybe lies of omission for years as well. Again, what the media doesn't tell us is just as important as what they do tell us. Mm-hmm. And it's been guys, this has been a really, really slow news week. Like, the whole drone story, like the drones in New Jersey, that was just military government testing drones, and they actually had flight logs for them.
Yep.
It's like, you could be a conspiracy theorist and be like, well, of course they're going to say they have flight logs. They had the flight logs logged 8 months ago.
Yeah. It was an Air Force. It's an Air Force base flying drones and other new types of aircraft around the area. And they've had this on the books for like 10 years now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And people are just now noticing it.
And again, it's poor journalism to be like, yeah, we didn't do this. Like, no, it's like if you had just gone through the military documents, yeah, there was a drone flight scheduled for this particular time, and this has been on the books for about 10 to 8 years. So don't worry about the drone stuff. That's all just, again, slow news week, so you might as well scare the people.
Yep.
So people start clicking headlines and whatnot.
But as you can see, other liberal media sources are quickly running to the defense of CNN. CNN says it was misled by man freed in Syrian report with Clarissa Ward.
Misled. This girl had to have colluded with them in order to do this. Like, remember, she could have not turned off the camera when they shot the door open. She could have been like, no, keep filming. It's like, and then the report could have been, maybe these Syrian rebels aren't what we say because they would not let us film certain things. And then they said this man who if she had just phrased this with air of skepticism, like, we're going in with this Syrian rebel group who's saying that they're freeing this guy, but this guy doesn't look like he's that thirsty or hungry. Mm-hmm. It's like, what if you framed it that way, Clarissa? And then people would be like, hey, maybe maybe the U.S. shouldn't be very friendly with this new Syrian regime.
Yep. And then when you type this in, CNN is pretty much like scrubbed
Buried
this
it.
from from all their media sources on YouTube. It took me forever to find like that video that I found, and that was from the New York Post. This one right here, this top video from CNN, I said the first video, of course, is from Sky News, and it's them making fun of CNN. CNN's actual video right here that says inside Syria's deadly prison where Assad legacy of cruelty is on full display. This is not the video of them freeing that prisoner. This is other prisons that
she went to. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So again, they are trying to save face and protect this girl, Clarissa World, as best as they can. Again, she is a liar. She should be fired. No one should take anything that CNN has to say seriously ever. But this girl should be out of a job, homeless, and working at McDonald's.
Yep.
She should be doing what Trump did, serving French fries at McDonald's.
Yeah. But then the next thing that pops up here, excuse me one second here, I'm about to sneeze, is about Timmerman, Travis Timmerman being freed. He's an American citizen that was found in a Syrian prison out there.
He was kept in there for like, what, 7 months or something like that?
Yes.
He was on a pilgrimage or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like what you said. It was kind of like those bicycle folks. It's like, if you're an American just walking around a Islamic country that is actively hostile to the United States, you are going to be arrested or killed. Everyone's like, the world is not a peaceful place, especially for white Christian, white Americans that are from Christian nations. Like the world does not like us.
No, they don't. They don't. And again, I brought up the biker story to Chad. I said, Chad, pull up that biker story. These two American liberals from New York were like, hey, we're going to ride around the world on our bicycles. So they went to the UK and they started their tour through Europe and whatnot. And again, at the vast majority of the story of these two, it's actually really beautiful. They traveled the countryside, biking places. People would see them in rainstorms and stuff, and they'd take them to their homes, give them shelter, be like, what are you guys doing? Oh, we're just biking around the world because we were two bored New York liberals who don't have kids and don't plan on having kids. We just want to show the world that the world's a nicer place. And again, for the most part, they were right. The world, a lot of people were very
Western world.
The Western countries were very nice to them. When they were in Italy, and then they started working their way down to the more scary Middle Eastern countries, and then finally they made it. Where did they go? It's like,
says here, according to this article, an American couple quit their Washington office jobs to bike around the world in search of experiences they could not find from behind a desk. After thousands of miles or more through 24 countries, Jay Austin and Laura I don't know how to say this girl's name, Gianna Hagen, journey came to a violent end at the side of a highway in Tajikistan.
Yeah. So they were killed by ISIS.
Yeah. By 5 men who had pledged their allegiance to ISIS, ran the couple and their travel companions down and stabbed them to death.
Yep. Again, the world's a beautiful, wonderful place. There's no, all the stories you hear in the news are just all exaggerated. It's like the Middle East. It's like that scene from Team America World Police, Sean Penn. I've been to Iraq. Before America got there, the chocolate streams, the river is filled with chocolate, and the children had gumdrop smiles.
Yeah.
It's just that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life, and that's seriously what these people believe. They're like no, because they don't have a God. They believe that it's like people are inherently good. We are all inherently good. It's like, no, it's not. Like human nature, like look at kids. Like put a candy bar in between two kids and see if you give one to one kid and don't give it to the other and see what happens. See if one of them doesn't throw a fit. Like in human nature, we are all inherently selfish. We're all inherently, we can all inherently do violence to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, the whole believe all women thing. It's like women can be liars too. Women can be manipulators, stealers, violent. But again, this is what the left and the liberals and the Democrats will believe. It's like, oh no, people are inherently good. People are not inherently good. What you can trust about human nature is that people will always do what's in their own best interest. So, with that being said, just remember that guy that Tinnerman is his name?
Yes. Travis Timmerman, yes.
He had the same philosophy and mentality of those two bikers that got killed. And that was back, when was those bikers killed? Back in 2014 or something,
this was like
right?
10 years ago,
Yeah.
10.
Gosh. It's crazy. So don't assume the world is just this wonderful, safe place. It's not. It is not. Now, I'm not saying that like everywhere in the Middle East is horrible. I mean, obviously, what's his name? Who's that Navy SEAL? I mean, he got protected by that whatever that Islamic tradition is, Tishwala or whatever, where he took him into his house and protected him under whatever that Islamic code of honor was. Like, he is a guest in my house and must be protected by me. So whatever, it's like there are good people and good Islamic people out there, but at the same time, don't assume everybody's going to be out for your best interest, especially if you're a chick too. I mean, ladies, we all know what happens to you, and whenever like guys come after you, it's like, like guys, we just it's over. Girls, they have fun with you, and then they get rid of you.
Yep, and I mean, even getting on, I remember like whatever that airline is, that Arab Emirates like airlines, like a woman took a nap and woke up being assaulted by a male passenger. That was Islamic, and like it's not illegal there, so like she was trying to do something about it and she couldn't.
Yeah, remember, I mean, in a lot of these countries, a woman has to have more than one man testify on her behalf in order for her testimony to be taken valid. Like, if it's just her against him, they're going to take his word over hers every time. So it's just the world is not what you think. The world is not this happy-go-lucky place where everyone's going to be nice to you. It is not that way. You are living in a fantasy world. I mean, and that's, again, this is what the coastal elites and the liberals and CNN would have you believe.
Yep. Then I have this pulled up. You sent me this from Luke Radowski from We Are Change.
Yeah, I love Luke.
And CNN Clarissa Ward is fake news queen and a Class A sociopath, and this is her pretending that she's under like rocket fire from Israel. And Gaza.
So a classic. The cameras weren't rolling whenever the air raid sirens were on, but she's down on the ground going, "They were just having the air raid sirens were going off. We're down on the ground. Sorry about this." I mean, you just roll the video and you can see it. It's so stupid.
Right now, Clarissa, tell us what's happening.
Stand by.
Hi, John. So forgive me, I was slightly
Clearly
in an
set
elegant
up.
position, but we have just had a massive barrage of rockets coming in here, not too far from us. So we have had to take shelter here by the roadside. We're just about 5 minutes away. Gaza is in that direction. We can hear now a lot.
And just for the record, when the sirens aren't going off anymore, that means it's safe.
Yeah. Again, yeah. I mean, look, if the sirens are going off, you're supposed to run to the nearest like air raid shelter. And if the sirens aren't on, you're fine. So it's like, again, this shot is staged. It looks good. It's photogenic. And it makes it seem like something greater is happening. Again, this woman is a pathological liar.
Yeah.
A 40-year-old woman desperate for attention, desperate to make a name for herself in the media, doesn't have family, doesn't have kids, and this is what her life is now. People have to remember me. I want people to remember me. I'm going to be the next Walter Cronkite. People will love me. It's like, it's so ridiculous. I mean, it's just the level of the lack of honesty here. I mean, if you are an honest journalist with integrity, just tell the truth. I mean, again, it's like what I told you before. If she had approached that whole scenario, that rescue scenario, instead of jumping on board with those rebels going, "Oh yeah, this will be an awesome story that I can sell to CNN. This is going to be great." She could have approached it with, "Yeah, I'll go along with your story," and then reported it skeptically, being like, "Yeah, these guys were saying we were going to go in and rescue this guy, but he sure didn't seem like he had been locked up for 5 days. There wasn't even any poop or pee on the ground inside the prison cell."
Look at this right here. I mean, going back, look at this right here. As they're
creeping across the parking lot like Scooby-Doo.
Well, yeah, but no, look at this. Nobody else. Notice how nobody else is on the ground. Look at all these other vehicles here with their lights flashing and stuff. Nobody else is out on the ground. They're the only people out there.
Yeah, it's because there's probably an air raid shelter like 5 minutes away from there, and they're like, "Okay, the air raid siren's gone off. Let's go outside and lay down on the ground. This will be really cool." Mm-hmm. It's like, it would have been cooler if you had filmed inside the air raid shelter with 20 other people. If there was even an air raid going on.
Ridiculous.
So again, just trust whatever CNN says, folks. I mean, this woman's clearly got integrity. And CNN's, again, with all the articles we showed you, they're covering for her. They're saying she was misled by the people she was with. It's like, is she not a rational, reasonable person who can discern information for herself and be like, hey, this seems kind of fishy. How come there's no poop or pee on the floor in this prison cell if this guy's been locked up in here for 6 months?
Mm-hmm. And then another part right here, look, they said that it not too far from where they're at. That doesn't look very close to where they are.
No, that's definitely several miles away. So again, it's just so dumb. And this just goes to show you the level of dishonesty and lack of integrity that news organizations have. That it's always been this way. It's just we've believed them because the news institutions used to have authority. You know, it's like we were the people. And literally, think about it. 10, 15 years ago, we were like, well, if it's on CNN, it has to be true. That's how you thought, and that's how it's always been. That's who these people are. This is who they've always been. You don't need to know the truth. They don't need to know. Like, I mean, what we don't tell them won't hurt them. So it's disgusting.
Yep. Then all that I have that's left is these 2 videos that we were talking about with the who checks the fact checkers here.
Yeah.
So you have one that you have more preference on wanting to watch?
No, you just pick one and just let it fly.
We'll start with this one here that you sent me. It says UN vows to imprison ex-users who share misinformation online. And remember, half the stuff that we talk about on this show that was misinformation, which I'll actually pull that up real quick, has turned out to be true. So what is classified as misinformation just a few months later becomes factual. So look here. Here's all those things that were called, that people on the right were called misinformation and fake news believers.
Yeah. So all this stuff is misinformation, but it all turned out to be true. Again, a couple months later. Just read through it or do a speed read real quick.
Speed read. Here we go. And it says, how many of these did you fall for? Russia collusion, Inflation Reduction Act. Trump called neo-Nazis fine people. Jussie Smollett, Bubba Wallace garage pool. Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian disinformation. Covington kids. Governor Whitmer's kidnapping plot. Kavanaugh rape hoax. Trump said drinking bleach would fight COVID. Russia bombed their own pipeline. Trump pee-pee tape. COVID lab leak was a conspiracy theory.
All right.
I mean,
you get it, folks. You get it. Like, that list goes on. Imagine you posted something about that from a news source from the right, like let's say the Daily Wire, or let's say I don't know, Steven Crowder, or whoever else.
Fox News, doesn't matter.
Whoever you follow, that's not a left-wing news outlet like CNN. You post that, it's true. We all know it's true. But guess what? The government gets to come in and say, no, it's not true. In fact, you're going to jail now because you posted that. Sure, you'd be vindicated in a couple of months, but again, remember, the process is the punishment. This is why those J6 people who are still locked up who haven't had a trial yet. I mean, remember, January 6th was 4 years ago now. Mm-hmm. There are still people locked up. They've been locked up for 1,500 days. Now, Trump's going to come in and God willing, he'll pardon them, but they haven't had a trial, and that's what it's going to be. You're going to post an article about something that happens tomorrow and be like, this is actually what really happened. And then the government's going to come knock on your door going, excuse me, did you post this? It's going to be like the UK. You know, it's like you made a Facebook post and we think there's some misinformation in there. It's not all completely true. So you have to go to jail for a couple months until we declassify some information.
All right, well, let me play this real quick and we'll get ready to end the show here in a minute.
Well, it's been nice knowing y'all. Super disturbing news coming out of the EU with the UN vowing to imprison ex-users who share misinformation online. Who dictates what misinformation is? Well, it's the ones doing the misinformation. They have ordered world leaders to start arresting citizens who post misinformation online again. So in that light, here's a series of images with no correlation to anything. Oh, wow, look at that. It's like each jacket was different. They all had different pockets. That's weird. Look at that. It's different backpacks. Gray, black, no backpack.
Yeah, I think
that's weird.
A fall guy.
Look at this one. No unibrow. Unibrow visible despite low resolution. Okay. Wow, this person even measured it. Yeah, that doesn't look right. Weird. I mean, I guess maybe that's who would have yelled, it's completely out of touch and an insult to the intelligence of the American people when he was being, escorted. How could anyone recognize this guy from those pictures? Well, it's been nice knowing y'all.
Yep, right there.
Yeah, there you go, folks. I mean, the government's going to be the one that dictates what misinformation is. And they're okay with lying. They've been okay with lying to us for... I mean, remember, Fauci said it wasn't a lab leak. Fauci said there was no gain-of-function research. So,
yep.
Remember, Hunter Biden laptop, that was all disinformation. They don't care about the truth. And this right here, it's unrelated to the stuff we've been talking today, but this woman brings up a point talking about how there is no integrity in journalism anymore. Like, this is not why she's like, I didn't become a journalist to do this. So, I mean, do you have any other points about it, Chad? Or
I mean, it just goes to show you how long the media has been playing these dirty games for forever. And all this lady was trying to do was to get the Twitter files released, and she wanted to have an interview with Elon Musk, and her company was literally like, we don't know what he's going to say, so we'd rather you not do a live interview with him. And that's what the narrative is. Like, they only want videos. I mean, this is why phones and live streams like what we're doing here has completely changed the game, because you can catch people in an entire conversation and catch them looking like an idiot.
Or a misinformation. You can catch them in it. These media companies don't want to be held liable, or it's like what they've been doing for years. Who's that chick? What's her name? She's famous. The interviewer, Katie Couric. Boom, Katie Couric, who selectively edited the gun owners. You remember that I'm talking about?
I do.
She made gun owners look dumb. Like she put pauses in between they're thinking about their answers, going, they couldn't answer this one simple question, and they're sitting there like looking like fuds, like when it was probably just camera roll from them just sitting there waiting for the interview to start. Like they're just sitting there like, is she gonna freaking like start this? So again, the people at those gun owners had recorded some of it and go, that's not how it was. That's not what happened. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing. It's like, remember, this is what Jon Stewart's been doing for years. Like, he interviews somebody, clips them out of context, says, look how dumb these conservatives are. I mean, what's his name? Who did it to Jordan Peterson? Jim Jeffries.
Yes.
He did it to Jordan Peterson, making Jordan Peterson look as though he did the same thing to Avi Yemeni.
Yep.
He tried to make Avi Yemeni look like a Jewish white supremacist racist who hated immigrants.
Yep.
And he clipped him completely out of context in order to what's the word? They want to destroy. They want to make him look like he's not a reasonable person. They want to make him look like he's a hateful bigot.
You can. And it's amazing what editing techniques that you can use, because we are film guys. Like, that's what we went to school for. It's amazing what editing techniques you can use to make something look really good, really bad, or make someone look silly or super smart, just by taking out uhs or pauses in their speech, speeding it up, slowing it down.
Or again, cut to let's right here. So look at me. Cut to me. And let's say I say something that I misspeak. Chad cuts back to him in the editing thing, and then cuts back to me when I'm talking about a completely different, unrelated subject. They did the same thing with Kamala Harris's interview.
Yep.
They made her sound way more coherent than she actually was.
Yeah.
Like, it is not hard to do, folks. Not at all. You can make your political friends look like geniuses, and you can make your opponents look like they are the dumbest mother effers on the planet.
Well, we'll play this real quick then so you can see what this lady has to say about work. You and she used to work for CBS.
Yeah, so just to set the stage, it was the fall of 2023. I had tried to enterprise a story that would bring the Twitter files to CBS News. It didn't get as far as I had hoped, but an interview opportunity developed with Elon Musk, and the offer was to do a live interview with him on X. So I took that opportunity to the CBS News executives, and they said, we just can't do it live. And I was like, what do you mean we can't do it live? And they said, well, we don't know what he's going to say. And I was like, wait a second, isn't that what journalism is all about? The short story is that a number of conditions were set on this possible opportunity with Elon Musk that included doing something taped, editing it, only having it on the CBS News platform. And frankly, I felt so ashamed that a news organization would place so many restrictions on an interview. And Dan, typically it's the interview subject that's placing the restrictions on an interview, not the network. I never went back to Elon Musk and said, I'm sorry, I know you're all about free speech, but they want to put these conditions on it. I just couldn't go back to him with that.
Boom. There you go. Sorry. And what a great point. And remember, the higher-ups, they don't want to have a reasonable conversation with Elon Musk. They want to make him look dumb. They want to make him look unreasonable because he is their political opponent. Elon Musk has been making CNN look dumb for a long time. But sorry, that you might end the show with something different because, like, I just like when she said we're doing it live, like it just Bill O'Reilly popped her right into my F it. We'll do it live. I'll write it. And we'll do it live.
That's what you want me to
It's like how far we've come from angry Bill O'Reilly being like, we'll just do it live. Screw it. To no. We need to be able to have. We need to be able to edit it in case Elon Musk makes us look silly. We don't want us to make us look silly. And again, what an insult to her as a journalist. She goes, you don't think I can't handle having a conversation with Elon Musk? Like, I'm a journalist. She's probably been doing it for like 30, 40 years. But no, it's like, we don't trust you to do that. It's like, well, geez, what the heck did I do journalism for? If not to get the big interviews and do things like that. But of course, it's not about the truth. It never has been about the truth. It's about controlling the narrative. And that's what the executives at CNN want. They want to be able to control the narrative so they can spin history in whatever direction they want. They are the controllers of history. They're the controllers of how information is received and perceived. That's what they want. That's what the media is. It's the same as film. It's the reason why film and culture is so important. Like, remember, politics is downstream from culture. If you went, again, this is why gays went from social pariahs to accepted next door neighbors overnight. Because every show from the 80s up until now had gay characters in it. Lovable gay characters. And it goes, oh, I wish I had a gay best friend. And now you have women on The View going, I couldn't live without gay men. It's like, what's going on here? Like, that's the dumbest statement I've ever heard in my life.
So that's how you wanted to end the show, that Bill O'Reilly thing?
We can if you want to, or you can end it with what you had. I just can't remember what she was. They was talking about the
Lord of the Rings and how you're considered right-wing extremist if you want to read Lord of the Rings or what's the other one? Orwell, George Orwell.
Yeah.
He's considered right-wing extremist.
That's probably a better way to end it than angry Bill O'Reilly.
Everybody knows angry Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah. So that's about all we've got for you today. We just wanted to let you know that CNN, they're all journalists and all media, they're full of liars and BSers who don't care about the truth. They care about controlling the narrative. They can care about how they can care about showing you what information they want to perceive and how you perceive it. It's not about the truth. It's about them shaping history or pushing history in the direction that they, the liberal coastal elites, want it to go. You're just a pleb. You're just a passive member in society. We're again, we're the media. We shape history. We decide what information gets disseminated, how you receive it, and not only how you receive it, how you will perceive it. Because we control and shape history. That is what the media apparatus is. It's not about news. It's not about truth. It's about controlling the narrative, pushing history in the direction that they want it to go. And that's why that you're seeing them, they're in this desperate claw to stay relevant. That's why you see that Calissa Ward video and why she's doing what she's doing. So with that being said, this is the Twins with Owasso Live. This was the Morning Loop. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you too can stay in the loop. That is all we've got for you today. God bless you.
See you later, everybody.
The UK government actually just spent taxpayer dollars to tell all of their citizens that reading The Lord of the Rings or George Orwell might lead to adoption of right-wing extremism. Your tax dollars just paid for this. This is part of the larger counter-terrorism program called PREVENT under the British government, which also included C.S. Lewis in their repertoire of radical right-wing extremist authors. And they list these books as red flags. So essentially, if you're reading 1984 or The Hobbit or Mere Christianity, you should be suspected, according to the UK government, of being a far-right extremist terrorist. Meanwhile, not to be this person to ask this question, but is there not actual terrorism just running rampant in the UK right now? Like, I feel like the government might have other things to pay attention to. I honest to God never thought I would have to say this, but buy yourself an in-person copy of this book before it's too late. The UK government